Hey Father, it's Garvit here, and today I'll be teaching you some basic head movement because I've seen a lot of boxers these days who are showing off their head movement on Instagram and YouTube, but they don't have the correct form. So today I'll be teaching you how to properly slip and roll. So let's get started. So first we're going to start off with slipping a jab. So when you're here and then someone throws a jab at you, you don't just bend forward like that. Because after bending forward like this, you would have no strength to punch your opponent with. Slipping like this makes it much harder to move around. For example, if I were to do a normal slip, which looks something like this, bending my legs and bending my body and just enough to miss the punch, just here, I can step with this and pivot. But these new slips that these boxers have created on Instagram and YouTube is so much harder to move around with. Just bending it back like that. So if I tried, it would put me in a really awkward position to pivot. So you have to focus on the correct way of slipping. Here, bending my knees, just bending enough to miss the punch. So let's talk about the glove size. The glove is about this big, which covers the entire face, right? So if I'm here and I'm straight and the punch is coming towards me, I just want to get out of this box, which makes me safe. So here, this is enough. Instead of doing that, just do this. And another problem with doing this is it makes your legs straight. So you don't want that. You want to keep your legs bent and just keep your heels a little off the ground. So just here, bend, bend. Same goes for the other side. Instead of just bending your body forward, bend with your legs. Slip like that. Turn your back foot here. Just a bit, not much. If you want to come up with a counter punch, then you can slip more. So for example, this is not enough to come back with a counter punch with a lot of power. You might want to do this instead, which gives you more leg strength. Same goes for the other side. This might not be enough punching power, so you might want to do this instead. Slip the cross, go down and come up with the uppercut. This is much more useful and much better than these new slips that the new boxers have created. Now let's talk about rolling. And I've seen a lot of new boxers rolling like this. They're here and then they just bend forward and roll and they just keep going down. It's not gonna hit me. But this is not gonna work. You have to roll the proper way with bending your legs. You actually want to squat so you can get the power after you come back from the roll. So if I'm here and I'm going to roll, I would squat down, go around that hook in a U shape, and come back with my hook or my uppercut. So you want to go in a U shape, you want to go around that hook to throw a punch of yours. When you're just going forward, it makes it much harder to come back. And talking about multiple rolls, which these new boxers are trying to imply, that if we roll with our bodies leaning forward, we can slip multiple times. And that might be true, but it is very impractical. Whereas, if you want to talk about rolling more than once, you can do that here as well. You can, and this is actually better, because it gives you more strength to come up with when you're actually about to throw a punch. Instead of, you're just gonna look down. You won't be able to look at your opponent. You wanna make eye contact with your opponent all the time. Just like that. You want to use your legs. And this is not only good for punching strength, but it's also good for your leg strength. It will make your legs more explosive. Whereas not including your legs as much makes your legs weaker. And especially if you're a counter puncher, squatting is really important so you can come back with a really powerful counter punch. So when you slip, you want to get out of this box, just here. If you want to slip and come with a counter punch, you want to go down and come up with a counter punch, which will give you a lot of strength in the punch. And when you roll, you want to roll using your legs, squatting down, going in a U shape, and going around this hook. So make sure you don't get confused between these different head movements, because this can really affect how your sparring or fight goes. And I know everyone wants to win, right? So make sure you're using the correct technique. So make sure to practice this, and I'll see you in the next video.